I'm honored to have you here, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to our video on Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. We're thrilled to have you here. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is an island country in the Eastern Caribbean. It is located in the southeast Windward Islands of the Lesser Antilles, which lie in the West Indies, at the southern end of the eastern border of the Caribbean Sea, where the latter meets the Atlantic Ocean. Its 369 territory consists of the main island of Saint Vincent and, south of that, 2/3 of the northern part of the Grenadines, a chain of 32 smaller islands. Some of the Grenadines are inhabited: Bequia, Mustique, Union Island, Canouan, Petit Saint Vincent, Palm Island, Mayreau, Young Islam, while others are not: Tobago Cays, Baliceaux, Battowia, Quatre, Petite Mustique, Savan and Petit Nevis. Most of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines lies within the Hurricane Alley. To the north of Saint Vincent lies Saint Lucia, to the east is Barbados, and Grenada lies to the south. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines has a population density of over 300 inhabitants at 700 per square mi, with an estimated population of 110,872. Kingstown is the capital and main port. Saint Vincent has a British colonial history and is now part of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States (CARICOM), the Commonwealth of Nations, the Bolivarian Alliance for the Americas, and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States (CELAC). In April 2021, the Los Antilles volcano erupted several times, with explosive events continuing. By 12 April, 16,000 residents had evacuated the area. Assistance and emergency financial support was being provided by several nearby islands, the United Kingdom, and agencies such as the United Nations. The first significant offer of long-term funding of $1 million was announced on 13 April 2021 by the World Bank. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore etymology from a different angle. Christopher Columbus, the first European to reach the island, named it after St. Vincent of Sardis, San Vicente de Zaragoza, whose feast day was on the day Columbus first saw it, 22 January 1498. The name of the Grenadines refers to the Spanish city of Grenada, but to differentiate it from the island of the same name, the diminutive was used. Before the arrival of the Spaniards, the Kalinigo natives who inhabited the island of St. Vincent called it Uamain, in honor of Uoka, the spirit of the rainbows, who they believed inhabited the island. Now, let's redirect our focus towards pre-colonial period and discover its significance in our narrative. Before the arrival of Europeans and Africans in the 16th century, various Amerindian groups passed through or settled on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including the Savanese, Arawak, and Kalinigo people. The island now known as Saint Vincent was originally named Uamain by the native island Caribs, who called themselves Kalina. Let's now venture into the realm of European arrival and early colonial period and explore the fascinating intricacies it holds. It is thought that Christopher Columbus sighted the island in 1498, giving it the name St. Vincent. The Kalinigo people aggressively opposed European settlement on St. Vincent. In this part of the video, we'll be diving deep into French and British colonization and First Carib War and unraveling its profound impact. Various attempts by the English and Dutch to claim the island proved unsuccessful, and it was the French who were first able to colonize the island, settling in the town of Mayreau on the leeward side of St. Vincent in 1719. The French imported black slaves to work on plantations producing sugar, coffee, indigo, tobacco, cotton and cocoa. The British captured the island and drove out the French from Mayreau during the 7 Years' War, a claim confirmed by the Treaty of Paris 1763. On taking control of the island in 1763, the British laid the foundations of Fort Charlotte and also continued the importation of slaves to work on the island's plantations. The Garifuna, an Afro-Indigenous Creole people on the island, were opposed to the British presence and entered into open conflict against the British, starting the First Carib War, which lasted from 1772 to 1773. During the Anglo-French War, the French recaptured Saint Vincent in 1779. However, the British regained control under the Treaty of Versailles 1783. In the next segment, we'll be exploring British colonial period and Second Carib War and its implications for our subject matter. The uneasy peace between the British and the Garifuna led to the Second Carib War, which lasted from 1795 to 1797. The Garifuna were led by Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoya and supported by the French, notably Victor Hughes, who was based on the island of Martinique. They were eventually defeated in 1797 by British forces under the command Sir Ralph Abercrombie. A peace treaty agreement was made which resulted in almost 5,000 Garifuna being deported to Roatan, an island off the coast of Honduras, and to Belize and Baliceaux in the Grenadines. In 1806, the construction of Fort Charlotte was completed. The Los Ofreri volcano erupted in 1812, resulting in considerable destruction. The British abolished slavery in Saint Vincent as well as in all other British West Indies colonies in 1834, and an apprenticeship period followed which ended in 1838. After its end, labour shortages on the plantations resulted, and were initially addressed by the immigration of indentured servants. In the late years, many Portuguese immigrants arrived from Madeira, and between 1861 and 1888 shiploads of Indian labourers arrived. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of 20th century. In 1902, the Los Ofreri volcano erupted again, killing people, much farmland was damaged, and the economy deteriorated. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines passed through various stages of colonial status under the British. A representative assembly was authorized in 1776, Crown colony government was installed in 1877, a legislative council was created in 1925 with a limited franchise, and universal adult suffrage was granted in 1951. During the period of its control of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Britain made several attempts to unify that island with the other Windward Islands as a single entity to simplify British control in the sub-region through a single unified administration. In the years, the British again tried to unify all of its regional islands, including Saint Vincent, into a single politically unified entity under British control. The unification was to be called the West Indies Federation and was driven by a desire to gain independence from the British government. However, the attempt collapsed in 1962. Saint Vincent was granted associate statehood status by Britain on 27 October 1969. This gave Saint Vincent complete control over its internal affairs but fell short of full independence in law. In April 1979, Los Ofreri erupted once more. Although no one was killed, thousands were evacuated and extensive agricultural damage occurred. On 27 October 1979, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines gained full independence. The date is now the country's Independence Day, a public holiday. The country opted to remain within the Commonwealth of Nations, retaining the then Queen Elizabeth II as monarch, represented locally by a Governor-General. Let's now enter the realm of post-independence era and discover the fascinating stories it has to tell. Milton Cato of the centre-left Saint Vincent Labour Party SVLP was the country's first Prime Minister. He had been Premier since 1974, ruling until his defeat in the 1984 Vincentian general election by James Fitz-Alan Mitchell of the centre-right New Democratic Party NDP. During Cato's time in office, there was a brief rebellion on Union Island in December 1979 led by Lennox Bumber Charles. Inspired by the recent revolution on Grenada, Charles alleged neglect of the Union by the central government. However, the revolt was swiftly put down and Charles was arrested. There were also a series of strikes in the early years. James Mitchell remained Prime Minister for 16 years until 2000, winning 3 consecutive elections. Mitchell was at the forefront of attempts to improve regional integration. In 1980 and 1987, hurricanes damaged many banana and coconut plantations. Hurricane seasons were also very active in 1998 and 1999, with Hurricane Lenny in 1999 causing extensive damage to the west coast of the island. In 2000, Unhim Eustace became Prime Minister after taking over the leadership of the NDP following Mitchell's retirement. He was defeated a year later by Rolf Gonsalves of the Unity Labour Party, successor party to the SPLP. Gonsalves, a left-winger known in the country as Comrade Rolf, argued that European nations owe Caribbean nations reparations for their role in the Atlantic slave trade. Gonsalves won a second term in 2005, a third in 2010, and a fourth in 2015. In 2009, a referendum was held on a proposal to adopt a new constitution that would make the country a republic, replacing Queen Elizabeth II as head of state with a non-executive president, a proposal supported by Prime Minister Gonsalves. A 2/3 majority was required, but the referendum was defeated 29,019 votes, 55.64% to 22,493, 43.13%. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines was elected as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. In November 2020, Rolf Gonsalves, Prime Minister of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines since 2001, made history by securing the 5th consecutive victory of his Unity Labour Party ULP in general election. In 2021, on 9 April, the Los Antilles volcano erupted, sending ash several miles into the atmosphere. Approximately 16,000 people were evacuated in the days leading up to the eruption. Now, we shift our focus to geography, a topic that deserves our attention. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines lies to the west of Barbados, south of Saint Lucia and north of Grenada in the Windward Islands of the Lesser Antilles, an island arc of the Caribbean Sea. The islands of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines include the main island of Saint Vincent 344 and the northern 2/3 of the Grenadines 45, which are a chain of smaller islands stretching south from Saint Vincent to Grenada. There are 32 islands and cays that make up Saint Vincent and the Grenadines SVG. 9 are inhabited, including the mainland Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Islands, Young Island, Bequia, Mustique, Canouan, Union Island, Mayreau, Petit Saint Vincent and Pomme Island. Prominent uninhabited islands of the Grenadines include Petite Nevis, used by whalers, and Petite Mustique, which was the center of a prominent real estate scam in the early years. The capital of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is Kingstown, Saint Vincent. The main island of Saint Vincent measures 26 kilometers long, 15 kilometers in width, and 344 in area. From the most northern to the most southern points, the Grenadine Islands belonging to Saint Vincent span 60.4 km, with a combined area of 45 km. The island of Saint Vincent is volcanic and heavily forested and includes little level ground. The windward side of the island is very rocky and steep, while the leeward side has more sandy beaches and bays. Saint Vincent's highest peak is Los Antilles volcano at 1234 meters. Other major mountains on Saint Vincent are from north to south Richmond Peak, Mount Brisbane, Coenori Mountain, Grand Bonhomme, Petit Bonhomme and Mount St Andrew. The country is home to 2 terrestrial ecoregions, Windward Islands moist forests and the Lesser Antilles dry forests. It had a 2019 Forest Landscape Integrity Index mean score of, ranking it 61st globally out of 172 countries. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze government and politics from different angles and evaluate its significance. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is a parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy, with Charles III as King of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. He does not reside in the islands and is represented as head of state in the country by the Governor-General of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, currently Susan Dugan since 1 August 2019. The office of Governor-General has mostly ceremonial functions, including the opening of the island's House of Assembly and the appointment of various government officials. Control of the government rests with the elected Prime Minister and their cabinet. The current Prime Minister is Rolf Gonsalves, elected in 2001 as head of the Unity Labour Party. The legislative branch of government is the unicameral House of Assembly of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, seating 15 elected members representing single-member constituencies and 6 appointed members known as senators. The parliamentary term of office is 5 years, although the Prime Minister may call elections at any time. The judicial branch of government is divided into district courts, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and the Privy Council of the United Kingdom in London being the court of last resort. In the next phase, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of political culture and exploring its real-world applications. The 2 political parties with parliamentary representation are the New Democratic Party (NDP) and the Unity Labour Party (ULP). The parliamentary opposition is made up of the largest minority stakeholder in the general elections, headed by the leader of the opposition. The current opposition leader is Godwin Friday. In the following segment, we'll be examining military in greater detail. Saint Vincent has no formal armed forces, although the Royal Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force includes a special service unit as well as a militia that has a supporting role on the island. In 2017, Saint Vincent signed the UN Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within administrative divisions and discover their significance. Administratively, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is divided into 6 parishes. 5 parishes are on Saint Vincent, while the 6th is made up of the Grenadine Islands. Kingstown is located in the parish of St. George and is the capital city and central administrative centre of the country. Now, let's shift our focus to LGBT rights and embark on an intellectual exploration of its various dimensions. Acts of gross indecency, which may be defined to include homosexual activity, are illegal in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Section 148 of the Criminal Code states, "Any person who in public or private commits an act of gross indecency with another person of the same sex, or procures or attempts to procure another person of the same sex to commit an act of gross indecency with him or her, is guilty of an offence and liable to imprisonment for 5 years. In the upcoming section, we'll be shining a light on international and regional relationships. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines maintains close ties to Canada, the United Kingdom and the US, and cooperates with regional political and economic organizations such as the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States (OECS) and CARICOM. The island nation's 6th embassy overseas was opened on 8 August 2019 in Taipei, Taiwan, after Prime Minister Rolf Gonsalves' official visit to the Republic of China, Taiwan. The other 5 are located in London, a high commission, as Commonwealth countries have high commissions rather than embassies in each other's countries: Washington, D.C., Havana, Caracas, and Brussels. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of the Double Taxation Relief CARICOM Treaty as we examine its impact and relevance. The Double Taxation Relief CARICOM Treaty. On 6 July 1994 at Sherborne Conference Centre, St. Michael, Barbados, as a representative of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, then James Mitchell, who was subsequently knighted, signed the Double Taxation Relief CARICOM treaties. There were 7 other signatories to the agreement on that day. The countries which were represented were Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. An 8th country signed the agreement on 19 August 2016, Guyana. This treaty covered taxes, residence, tax jurisdictions, capital gains, business profits, interest, dividends, royalties, and other areas. Get ready for an enlightening exploration as we dig into FATCA and understand its role in the broader context. On 30 June 2014, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines signed a Model 1 agreement with the United States of America with respect to Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act or FATCA. According to the updated site as of 16 January 2017, on 13 May 2016 the agreement went to in-force status. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of international and regional bodies to which Saint Vincent and the Grenadines belong. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is a member of the United Nations, the Commonwealth of Nations, the Organization of American States, and the Association of Caribbean States ACS. In September 2017, at the 72nd session of the UN General Assembly, the Prime Ministers of the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, Vanuatu and Saint Vincent and the Grenadines called for UN action on alleged human rights abuses committed by Indonesia on Western New Guinea's indigenous Papuans. In 2019, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines became the smallest country to ever be elected to the UN Security Council. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine Organization of American States and its connections to our previous discussions. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines joined the Organization of American States on 27 October 1981. It participates in the Summits of the Americas and the Indigenous Leaders Summits of Americas. In this section, we'll be peeling back the layers of European nations to reveal its true essence. In 2013, Saint Vincent called for European nations to pay reparations for the slave trade. As we progress, let's zoom in on Venezuela and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. Saint Vincent protests against Venezuela's claim to give full effect to Abesbird Island, which creates a Venezuelan East continental shelf extending over a large portion of the Caribbean Sea. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of economy. Agriculture, dominated by banana production, is the most important sector of this lower middle-income economy. The services sector, based mostly on a growing tourist industry, is also important. The government has been relatively unsuccessful at introducing new industries, and the unemployment rate remains high at 19.8% in the 1991 census to 15% in 2001. The continuing dependence on a single crop represents the biggest obstacle to the island's development as tropical storms wiped out substantial portions of bananas in many years. There is a small manufacturing sector and a small offshore financial sector serving international businesses. Its secrecy laws have caused some international concern. There are increasing demands for international financial services like stock exchange and financial intermediaries' financial activities in the country. In addition, the natives of Bequia are permitted to hunt up to 4 humpback whales per year under IWC subsistence quotas. Now, we shift our focus to tourism, a topic that deserves our attention. The tourism sector has considerable potential for development. The filming of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies on the island has helped to expose the country to more potential visitors and investors. Recent growth has been stimulated by strong activity in the construction sector and an improvement in tourism. Turning our focus to transportation, let's explore its key elements. Argyle International Airport is the country's new international airport. The new facility opened on 14 February 2017, replacing the existing E.T. Joshua Airport. The airport is on the island's east coast about 8.35.17 miles from Kingstown. As we progress, let's zoom in on communications and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. In 2010, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines had 21,700 telephone landlines. Its land telephone system is fully automatic, covering the entire island and all of the inhabited Grenadine islands. In 2002, there were 10,000 mobile phones. By 2010, this number had increased to 131,800. Mobile phone service is available in most areas of Saint Vincent as well as the Grenadines. Saint Vincent has tourists digital flow that provides cellular telephone and internet service. As we venture forward, let's examine demographics in detail and gain a deeper appreciation for its significance. The population as estimated in was. The ethnic composition was 66% African descent, 19% of mixed descent, 6% East Indian, 4% Europeans mainly Portuguese, 2% Grenada and 3% others. Most Vincentians are the descendants of West Central African people brought to the island to work on plantations. There are other ethnic groups such as Portuguese from Madeira and East Indians, both brought into work on the plantations after the abolishing of slavery by the British living on the island. There is also a growing Chinese population. Let's now zoom in on languages and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. English is the official language. Most Vincentians speak Vincentian Creole. English is used in education, government, religion, and other formal domains, while Creole or dialect as it is referred to locally is used in informal situations such as in the home and among friends. In this section, we'll be exploring religion. According to the 2001 census, 81.5% of the population of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines identified themselves as Christian, 6.7% has another religion, and 8.8% has no religion or did not state a religion. 1.5%. Anglicanism constitutes the largest religious category, with 17.8% of the population. Pentecostals are the second largest group, 17.6%. The next largest group are Methodists, 10.9% of the population, followed by Seventh-day Adventists 10.2% and Baptists 10%. Other Christians include Roman Catholics 7.5%, Evangelicals 2.8%, Church of God 2.5%, Brethren Christian 1.3%, Jehovah's Witnesses 0.6% and the Salvation Army 0.3%. Between 1991 and 2001, the number of Anglicans, Brethren, Methodists and Roman Catholics decreased, while the number of Pentecostals, Evangelicals and Seventh-day Adventists increased. The number of non-Christians is small. These religious groups include the Rastafari 1.5% of the population, Hindus and Muslims 1.5%. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding sport and gain a fresh perspective. Cricket, rugby and association football are most popular among men, whereas netball is most popular among women. Basketball, volleyball and tennis are also very popular. The country's prime football league is the NLA Premier League, which provides its national association football team with most players. A notable Vincentian footballer is Ezra Hendrickson, former national team captain who played at several major league soccer clubs in the United States and is now a head coach with the Chicago Fire FC. The country regularly participates at the Caribbean Basketball Championship, where a men's team and a women's team compete. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines also has its own national rugby union team, which is ranked 84th in the world. Other notable sports played at the regional level include track and field. Natasha Mayers won a gold medal in the at the 2010 Commonwealth Games. Kink Alexander won a bronze medal in the women's at the 2015 Pan American Games. Swart Coombs got a bronze medal in the at the 1995 Pan American Games. Let's now shift our focus to music and explore the ways in which it shapes our perspective. Music popular in Saint Vincent and the Grenadines includes big drum, calypso, soca, steelpan and reggae. String band music, quadrille and traditional storytelling are also popular. One of the most successful Street Vincent natives is Kevin Little. He was named Cultural Ambassador for the island 19 September 2013. The national anthem of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is Saint Vincent, Land So Beautiful, adopted upon independence in 1979. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of media. Saint Vincent has 12 frequency modulation radio stations, 88.9 adoration from 89.1 gem radio, 89.7 NBC radio, 95.7 and 105.7 praise FM, 96.7 nice radio, 97.1 hot 97, 98.3 star FM, 99.9 we FM, 103.7 hits, 102.7 Izzy radio, 104.3 extreme frequency modulation and 106.9 boom frequency modulation. There are several internet radio stations, including Chronicles Christian Radio. It has one television broadcast station, ZBG-TV, SVG-TV, and one cable television provider. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Broadcasting Corporation is the parent company for SVG-TV, Magic 103.7. Get ready for an exciting part as we dive into holidays. Date name in English: 1 January New Year's Day, 14 March National Heroes Day, 15 April Good Friday, 18 April Easter Monday, 1 May Labor Day, 6 June Whit Monday, 4 July Carnival Monday, 1 August Emancipation Day, 27 October Independence Day, 25 December Christmas Day, 26 December Boxing Day. Public holidays of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of notable people of Vincentian descent. 21 Savage, rapper Lincoln Alexander, lawyer Judy Boucher, reggae singer Ashley Kane, footballer Dan Capeln, singer-songwriter Problem Child, soca musician singer Jamal Edwards, entrepreneur Skinny Fabulous, soca musician singer Adenal Foyle, American basketball player N'Keal Harry, American football player Jesse Lingard, footballer Kevin Little, musician singer Nixon McLean, cricketer Mist, rapper Zinger Prescott, American Olympic fencer Protege, reggae singer Marlon Rowdett, singer-songwriter Franklin Seals, television and motion picture actor Cassie Ventura, singer Sophia Young, NCAA champion and ex-WNBA All-Star Ezra Hendrickson, MLS player and now head coach of Chicago Fire Kelvin. Dwight Venner, former governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. I love hearing from you, so leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments.